Focus in on the company of Five Star Business, talk a little bit about their growth outlook, their AUM growth, as well as what the guidance is. We've got Lakshmipathy Deenadayalan, who's the CMD of Five Star Business Finance. Thanks for taking time out. To begin with, the market opportunity in the segment that you cater to is pretty strong, and your AUM has grown over the last few years. What is the outlook in terms of your AUM growth for FY24 and what looks sustainable?
Good morning, all. I think from a growth perspective, as I keep saying, we are very optimistic. Our growth numbers will be very good. Last 2 quarters, we have shown a good growth. This quarter also, we'll be giving a very good growth. And the segment to which we cater, it's completely not catered by many lenders. So we have a big headroom from an opportunity perspective to go and cater them.
Hasn't been a problem for you, and you say that the growth momentum will be sustained, but given the fact that you cater to, let's say, largely the unorganized sector, low income earners, etc., the risk becomes of NPAs and asset quality, right? Because it's just difficult to do the diligence to that level there. I understand that your NPA levels are still very low, but are you worried that they might head a tad bit higher given how the cycle is turning and how entire inflationary pressure is working on the environment?
I think that is what people say year after year, decade after decade, that this segment of customers are more vulnerable. But my personal experience with them for last 20 years, I have not seen any vulnerability, because the customers to whom Five Star serves is from essential services, essential shopkeepers, to be more precise. See, without them, I think any common man cannot lead their common life. So they are inevitable for any common man to continue his life. So they are so attached to a common man's lifestyle. So I don't think they are vulnerable even in a difficult scenarios. Even though they are vulnerable, I think Five Star product is a secure product. 95% of my loans are backed by self-occupied residential property where the applicant and applicant family members live in. I think they react to a secured lender versus an unsecured lender during the vulnerable times. I think that is where you see the NPAs or 90 plus of Five Star is always stable, and we remain at 1 to 1.5% even during the vulnerable times.
Point taken. But the other thing is that your NIM trajectory is much better than rest of the peers as well who cater to a similar segment, and in the 9 months gone by, it's very close to 18%. What could be a sustainable level for NIMs, let's say in FY24?
I told it earlier, my sustainable NIMs in steady state will be around 13 to 14%. That may kick in next 2 to 3 years. But next quarters, if you see, the NIMs will be in the same level. As you said, that is purely based on 2 factors. One is Five Star is under leverage. Our leverage is around 1.8. So more you borrow, more the interest cost comes in. Second, I think our cost of funds from the banks where we borrow has come down substantially, close to 150 bips in last 4 to 6 quarters. That is not yet passed on to the customers. We are just waiting for the interest rate cycle to peak, then take the call. So that is why you see little bulged NIMs that you see in Five Star, but sustainable NIMs while catering to this segment will be around 13-14%.
You have historically raised capital via the equity route as well. Going forward, will that be the route? Because if there are 2 things here. One, it's easy to raise capital from the equity route. Your book value is at a premium to other NBFCs, so it's a good idea. But for a minority shareholder, if you are raising money via the equity route, that could be EPS dilutive.
Again, Nikunj, I have told in earlier show that Five Star capital adequacy is close to 65 to 70%, while NBFC can have 15 to 18% as capital adequacy as per regulation. So even at 30% plus growth year on year, for next 5 years, we don't see any capital to be raised for the purpose of the business. So I don't think so we'll come to the market for raising any capital in next 3 to 5 years.
Base, I'm just repeating it again. You will be able to maintain the existing growth rate without any dilution. That is what we should expect from you.
Yes, absolutely.
At what cost are you borrowing from the wholesale market? Because ultimately NBFCs have to borrow from the wholesale market, and the cost of the wholesale market keeps on changing depending on the interest rates.
Currently, we are borrowing at 9.5 to 9.75, Nikunj, from the marquee names with bigger volumes. Even when we see next few quarters, world moves towards little higher rate of interest, our borrowing cost will never cross 10 or 10.25, which is the current cost of fund in my books. So that is why even last time I said I don't intend to pass on any increase in lending cost to my borrowers even next few quarters.
The new RBI guidelines in terms of NPA recognition, what would be the exact change of that? Because that would be applicable for this quarter. So when the numbers will come out, everybody will start saying NPA बढ़ गया. But that is largely because of the RBI new guidelines.
From October 1st onwards, our December numbers has that RBI technical NPA, which we call, that has been at 1.45% for 5-star. So 90 plus, which was 1.16% in December, if you add 0.29% to it, which is the new circular's impact on 5-star, our NPA is 1.45%. The guidance, what we have been saying to the market is the difference between 90 plus and so-called technical NPA will be 0.75 to 1%. So at any given point of time, I don't see NPAs crossing 2% even under new RBI regime of this NPA circular.
All right, thank you for taking time out and giving us a view on how things are shaping up at 5-star.